Good morning and welcome to the Monday Morning Jumpstart. Hi, my name is Rory Peters and I'm the founder and CEO of Rory Peters International, as well as the Grow Your Business Like You Mean It live event. I'm a speaker, a sales and leadership trainer, and the author of Sell Like You Mean It. This week, we're going to talk about step 3 in the 4-step goal setting process, reading your goals every day. So we're in the middle of a series on how to take advantage of one of the most powerful tools I know to help you achieve anything you want in your life, and that is setting goals. So in week 1, we talked about an overview of setting goals, and in there we talked about how important it was and how effective it was in helping you achieve the things that you want in life. We also talked about, like any other tool, that it's important that you know how to use that tool, and that there were 4 important steps to setting goals. In week number 2, we talked about the first step, which is defining exactly what you want. In week number 3, last week, we talked about writing your goals down, how important it is that you just don't think about what your goals are, but that you actually write them down. This week, we're going to focus on reading your goals. So once you've defined exactly what you wanted and you write your goals down, and hopefully you write your goals down once or twice a week, but once you've written them down, now comes the power. The power is in reading your goals. I recommend that you read your goals every day. As a matter of fact, I recommend you read your goals twice a day. First thing in the morning when you get up. That's a powerful way to start your day. You start envisioning the things that you want in your life. And then at the end of the night, just before you go to bed, instead of reading the doom and gloom on the evening news, read your goals. And while you're sleeping, your mind is going to be focused on helping you try to achieve those goals. Now, why is this so important that you read your goals every day? In this case, I'm recommending twice a day. The power of goal setting comes in the focus, how much focus you put on your goals. Now, in other videos, we talked about that you are where you are in your life, for better or for worse. You're where you are in life because of the things you focus on and the actions that you choose to take or not take. Here's where that focus comes. If you're focusing on a particular goal or goals, that focus is going to tell your mind exactly what it is you want. And it's going to help your mind help you to achieve it. Now, how does that happen? You have what's called a reticular activation system. And what that does is it helps define what it is that you need to pay attention to. Now, what do I mean by that? If you had the capability of being cognitively aware of every single thing that touches your senses, everything that crosses your peripheral vision, everything you hear, every single sound, whether it's a whistle, a child, the wind, anything, every touch that hits your fingers, including, again, the wind going through your hair, anything, any taste, any smell. If you were 100% aware of every single thing that touched your senses, you'd go nuts. It'd be information overload. It really would just, you'd go nuts. So your mind has to define what is important to you. What is it that you really need to pay attention to? And the way it does that is by what you tend to focus on. The more you focus on something, you're telling your mind this is important to you. So anytime any person, place, or thing comes across your path that will help you with that, it's going to make you aware of it. Now let me give you an example. This is one that most of us at some point in time in our lives have experienced. So you're about to buy a new car, whether it's a new car or a new-to-you car, a used car. Either way, you're deciding what you want. You're spending time researching the car you want, going to car lots and taking a look at it, maybe test driving. You're putting all this focus and energy into what it is that you want to buy. And then you go out and you buy that car. Now you're driving that car off the lot, and as you're driving around, you suddenly realize everybody's got this car. You're seeing the same make, model, and even color everywhere. Seems like all of a sudden everybody's got this car. Now, obviously, it wasn't all of a sudden that everybody decided to buy the exact same make, model, and color of car that you did today. They just didn't go out and do that. Those cars have always been there, but they weren't important to you before. But now that you're spending all this time focused on that car and you want to purchase that car, you told your mind, this is important to me. So every time one of those cars crosses your path, you're going to notice it. Now, in a more effective way, how can this work for you? If you're focused on a particular goal, you might, for example, be at dinner, right? You're in a restaurant, you're having dinner, and you all of a sudden catch conversation at the table next to you. And you notice that they're talking about something that's of direct interest to what you're trying to accomplish. So you get up and you walk over there and you introduce yourself to them, and it turns out that one of the people at table has some really great information that's going to help you achieve your goal. Now the simple fact is, if you're not focused on your goal, if you're not focused on what it is you want, you're reading your goals every day, if you're not telling your mind, this is what's important to me, you'd never notice that conversation. I mean, do you notice every conversation going on at every table around you? I mean, sometimes you do, you'll pick up on something, but most of the time you don't even notice what's going on. But all of a sudden this time you do, because you told your mind by reading your goals every day, you said to yourself, this is what's important to me. So anytime people, places, things, anything that's going to help you achieve your goal crosses your path, just like that make, model, and car you just bought, your mind's going to say, okay, you need to pay attention to this. And it makes you cognitively aware of it. This is one of the ways in which focusing on your goal is going to help you. Now the other is simply that use of that information, the fact that you're constantly thinking about it. You're thinking about getting creative, coming up with ideas, different ways that you might try to achieve this goal. That process in itself is going to help you be more creative. So all the way around, the focus that you give on this goal, the reading your goals every day, the thinking about them, allows you closer activity into achieving those goals. And your mind's going to help you do that, even while you're sleeping. Now, one of the keys to this when you read your goals is to add emotion to it. What do I mean by that? When you're reading your goals, think about them, feel them as if they've already happened. So if your goal, for example, is to take your business to a certain level, maybe double your sales or take your volume into a certain level, what would that feel like? What would it feel like if that's already happened? How would you feel? Or if it's that new car we're talking about, for me, for example, a convertible, what would it feel like taking that convertible and driving up PCH1 on the Pacific Coast, feeling the wind in your hair, watching the sunset, hugging those curves in that convertible? What would that feel like? It would feel pretty good. So as you're reading your goals, just don't read them like a robot. Feel that emotion as if those goals have already happened. How would you feel? So giving that emotional input increases that focus that tells your mind this is something that's really important to you. So reading your goals is an exceptionally powerful way to increase the capabilities of setting goals, because you're telling your mind, the most powerful computer in the world, this is what's important to me, help me figure out how to accomplish this. So not only do you want to write your goals down, and I would recommend you rewrite them once or twice a week, but read your goals every day. Maybe twice a day if you can. And the more focus you give to your goals, the more you tell your mind, this is what's important to me, the more help you're going to get in achieving those goals. I hope this has been helpful to you. Next week we're going to take a look at the last step in setting goals, which is taking one action every day towards the accomplishment of your goals. So this week, your homework is to start reading your goals every day, maybe twice a day, but at least once a day, read your goals and give that emotional input. Feel what it would feel like if you've already accomplished those goals. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you next Monday.